So apparently on May 10th, there was a operational error on behalf of the prison authorities at the Lawton Rehabilitation and Corrections Facility in Oklahoma that resulted in the death of 2 inmates and 30 others injured. One officer sustained minor injuries, they say. So Lawton is a privately ran prison. It's ran by the GEO Group, the same group that operates our only private prison here in Virginia called the Lawrenceville Correctional Center. The GEO Group told CNN the deaths were inmate on inmate assaults, and 2 others were seriously injured. The true nature of this situation and incident aren't being revealed until the investigation is complete, but they have admitted that it is an operational error on behalf of the facility. This is all too familiar. Like, we have serious violent incidents at the Lawrenceville Correctional Center here in Virginia. Private prisons are not a good idea. Prisons are meant to be owned and operated by the state government agencies that have been selected to do it by the governor. But yet, GEO Group cites a zero tolerance for violent incidents. Bullshit. In Virginia, Lawrenceville Correctional Center is owned by the state, but it's operated by a private entity. Now, our state is going to assume operations from GEO this year as they close several other penitentiaries. But after all, inmates are state property, remember? The LCRF has been open since 1998 and has 2,682 inmates. Oklahoma's about to get sued. Now listen, all the families of the Oklahoma inmates who were killed or injured, remember, Oklahoma has admitted, the department has admitted this is an operational error on behalf of the prison. So, you gotta understand, y'all get to sue their ass for whatever you want now. And I would suggest you take it all. Now, Emily Barnes is the founder of the criminal justice advocacy group, Hooked on Justice. She said she's learned by inmates that the incident involved 2 separate gangs who were supposed to have been kept separate, but one of the gangs was let on the yard with the other ones. And that's how it started. It was intentional and deliberate. Earlier this year, the Contraband Interdiction Unit was expanded, which kept items like cell phones and drugs from entering the facilities. The department works with the Oklahoma Bureau of Narcotics Division and Dangerous Drugs Control to help fight the drug operations on the streets, which prevents them from entering to the facilities. Allegedly, it's working, and the department has seen a reduction in violent incidents involving STGs, security threat groups. It's a fancy word for gangs. The Oklahoma DOC is using data-driven decisions to cut back on violence. This means they're using computers to dictate what rules they make. And they also made changes, revised its misconduct policy, and took strategic moves to house security threat group inmates separately from others. Barnes said she was notified first by inmates of this incident in Oklahoma on Friday, not the DOC. Ain't that something? They're on a major lockdown, but they can still get communications out. That's because they got cell phones. So the bottom line to all this bullshit mumbo jumbo is the Oklahoma DOC has had lots of violent incidents lately, and it involves drugs. Now, the gangs control the drugs, so they've made strategic moves to get rid of the drugs and to separate the gangs. But it is not working. Prior to this incident, Oklahoma DOC had stabbings at Lawton, Hinton, Holdenville, and the one at Hinton resulted in a death. So anyway, you go figure. What's working and what ain't? You tell me.